bikes in a moment.
You're a big black shiny beast.
Yeah, well, it absolutely is.
Big black shiny jacket with all the special tassels.
Yeah, yeah. So I started off at 16 getting. They had been mopeds with the FS1E Yamahas.
Fizzy.
Yeah, but I didn't get a fizzy. They had.
They're too expensive.
The pedals. No, I got a. They were all going out, and I lusted after an RD50, which didn't have the pedals, but it was restricted. So it was at that changeover period, and some of my friends bought the fizzies.
So they cracked down on the the fizzies because they were too quick or something.
Yeah, they would do 50 to 60 miles an hour, but they had the pedals which you couldn't really pedal.
That is nuts.
And they sort of folded up.
Yeah.
And I got the next generation. So it was an RD50. It looked like a small motorbike, and I'd lusted after one I'd seen when I was about 15, which was the white coloured one with the red Yamaha brickwork down the tanks.
Was this the one you told me about that had a crack in the frame or something?
No, that'll come on to that. That was a Suzuki. But the RD50, it was a nice little starter bike. But the paint design that I had on mine was the same style that they moved on to when they introduced the RD LC line 250 and 350.
I know nothing about it.
And so it didn't have that classic Yamaha RD tank design, which I'd lusted after. But it is a great little bike. And then I moved on to the Suzuki. I'd loved an RD250, but I couldn't afford that at the time. So and some of my friends had got the GT250, which was a two-stroke.
So were these bikes all kind of like 10 years older than?
So this is
old at the time,
so mine was 1976, and by the time I
could afford it all.
Well, came on to the age for riding a large motorcycle was about 1981. So I got this 250.
You were riding for years, Dom.
It was two-stroke. So I suppose the design, by today's standards, it looks like a really basic old bike, but it was a two-stroke, so the power band was vicious. If you weren't careful and you're accelerating, you would be on the back wheel.
And I guess it was quite low geared as well.
Yeah. So it was noisy and brash and smelly and pretty quick at that stage. Suzuki then modernized, and they went from the GT250 model onto something called the X7, which looked far more modern.
Sorry. I think Percy's farted. Right, is that better?
Yeah. So so the next bike that I had a bit of a gap. I moved on to cars, and I had a lovely white Triumph Spitfire 1300 Mark IV.
The one that was in the crash?
No. Yeah, that was the one that pulled across in front of me.
You reckon it saved you because it was?
Yeah, because it had a solid chassis, unlike the MGs that were monocoque construction. But and then I had a Triumph Spitfire 1500, and it was years later that I went back to biking. And
what, so the 90s or something?
Yeah, in the 90s. And I.
What was your first bike then? But that was it. It wasn't the Ducati, was it?
No. So I bought a Honda VFR 800.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Lovely looking machine with single-sided swing arm.
Absolute classic.
And
so that was
it's a V4 engine.
And that was new, was it? Or?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I bought that new.
Nice. With a VTEC.
Yeah.
Thing that gorgeous.
Yeah. So it's a lovely motorcycle. I couldn't fault it.
I still quite fancy getting one of those.
Great. It'll do everything you want. With ease.
But it's got a chain. I don't like chains.
Yeah.
I've got something against. It's weird.
I fancied something with a little bit different, so I moved on to the Ducati 796 Monster, which was great. I mean, the deceleration reverberation through the airbox. It's
You lock it on the back wheel quite a lot as well.
Yeah, absolutely distinct sound of the Ducati with the L configuration engine.
LV twin. L twin.
And it was great. You know, again, I can't fault it.
And that's not fair. That's just a.
It was a naked bike. I did find working on it tricky. Needed specialist tools, and everything took quite a long time to do, and was not straightforward. And my riding style changed. I didn't want to go everywhere. Didn't feel the need for going
flat out all over
fast and herring around the twisties, as people like to talk about, and knee scraping and getting a shoulder down. It wasn't for me, and I moved on to 2011 Harley FXDF Fatbob, and it's absolutely the best motorcycle I've ever owned. Does everything I could possibly want. Torque is amazing, and I was very lucky. The guy I bought it from was English, but had lived in the States for many years. He'd bought it brand new in the States and had owned it from brand new. And they'd moved to England.
Hasn't it got something like 5,000 miles?
Yeah, it had 5,000 miles when I bought it. It was about 5 years old when I bought it, and he'd moved back to the UK with his wife, who's American, and they decided they were going to go back to the States, but he didn't want to
take the bike with him,
take it all back,
all the paperwork,
all the paperwork. Yeah. So he was selling it. So I got a one owner American spec Harley Davidson,
barely
5,000 miles.
Well, not even run in, I suppose.
No, and it was stage one. It had really nice Vance and Hans big radius.
May have a cam in it as well, perhaps.
May have a cam, not sure, but I know it is stage one. Heavy breather, air filter, Vance and Hines big radius pipes. Sounds beautiful, and can't fault it. It is a beast. It's heavy. I won't. I know pretend it's not. Sometimes it feels like you're having to wrestle the machine.
When I was riding the K75 a lot with you on that bike, I'd always have to be in quite a low gear to kind of keep up with you when you were kind of pulling away, and it was like, you know, and I was like revving the arse off the.
They're not
BMW to keep up
fast bikes, but they've just got that huge low end torque.
It's just that pull away, isn't it?
Worry about changing gears to be able to overtake or to accelerate. You can just open the throttle within reason, and that torque will take you through.
Yeah. There's also a massive air pump, because you kind of like kick up all the bloody bits of road debris, and then I fly straight into it.
I know it's not the widest tyres that Harley fit, but even the front tyres wider than your back tyre.
It is, by quite a lot. It's probably it's like that much wider. It's nuts.
The only thing is, and I do like it has forward controls, and I like that style. I was a bit in two minds to start with,
to get into it.
You soon get used to it. The only thing that I've found with forward controls is being able to alter your seat position whilst riding on longer rides. So I've found that
it's harder to kind of get a good position.
You can't, because if
you just sat on your arse more.
And your legs are forward, so you can't actually lift your backside up and change positions. So if you're riding for 2 or 3 hours, it can start to feel a bit uncomfortable.
So you could get one of those like seat bubble things for like a long ride.
Yeah,
couldn't you?
And I think that's something that I might be looking into, because from Devon to Gloucester, with one stop, even by the time I got to that one stop, I could not wait to stand up and have a walk around. But outside that journey, it just ate the miles up on the motorway. It's just so easy.
Yeah,
just barely sounding as though it was above tick over.
That's what it's designed for, isn't it? Those long kind of like fairly straightish roads, I suppose. Nothing too windy and twisty, but
but it's wonderful. And those trips we've done, around the Devon A roads, it's a particularly nice run out to Union Road Motor Velo in Crediton, and that's such a great destination to get to
for a coffee and stuff. And,
very biker friendly, good parking for bikes. There's usually an interesting turnout of people with bikes and without bikes. It's a great place to go. As is Jolly's over in Bovey Tracy. I always enjoy a trip over Holden Hill to get to Bovey Tracy, and we must do that.
Or Bridge soon. For breakfast. Bridge Motorcycles.
Bridge Motorcycles. Cafe 53.
Yeah, it's nice.
A great local location. Lots of bikes there usually, especially if the weather's good.
I will miss that though. Actually, when I turn up on the old blue BMW, the RS, people do look at it and stop and kind of like, because it's normally the oldest bike there, even though there's loads of old looking Triumphs.
I suppose the oldest without going back to those.
But they don't really come out that often. But the RS I ride every 2 or 3 days. It's always kind of on the road. But I'll be sad to see that one go. Anyway, that RS. But I think, I don't know. I suddenly realised yesterday that I think I've had enough. I had that lovely trip on it.
Is it the balance and the carbs? Because I know you've done a lot of work with the carbs recently.
I think I wanted to have a more. I was getting bored of the K75 because it was so bloody reliable. It was so I didn't have to do anything to it, and I wanted something to tinker. There's so much to do on that bike all the time.
It's one extreme to the other, I guess.
And also because I think that design concept of the RS100 and those that Boxer series, they tagged on lots of things over the years. They put on an oil cooler, and they put on a rear disc brake, and they were kind of tagged on without it being part of the
original whole design.
And it makes it really hard to work on because you can only they're sort of squeezed on there.
So the original design, it was a drum brake at the back. And then they modernised that design to include a disc brake to keep up.
The actual RS, to keep up with the Japanese, I suppose, and everyone else. But I mean, the back brake isn't that good anyway. So it's like,
most of our braking's done on the front brake anyway, with using the back brake. But then about 25% usually.
Yeah.
Apart from the wet, when it's probably 50-50.
But then doing my, because I did my motorbike test and training, 10 years ago, I was told to use the back brake all the time. Well, a lot more at lower speeds.
Well, that's one thing.
So my habit now, I use the back brake a hell of a lot actually, because I find it's more controllable. But then I'm more used to doing that.
That's exactly right. When I was I had my 50cc, it started off with that, and I did something whilst I was at college doing my A-levels called the Star Rider course, and I was very fortunate.
Which should still be going. That'd be a brilliant thing.
I agree. And my instructor was a police motorcyclist, absolutely brilliant. And one of the first things he taught me was slow riding, and how to control how to control the bike. And slow riding was all about the back brake.
I see so many people. It's mainly older riders who just got back into riding again, and they get on these big bikes. And the modern bikes, that the brakes are so sharp.
And they're grabbing handfuls of the front brake.
They don't know how to modulate yet, and they're kind of jamming it on, and they're kind of almost falling over.
And I'm not quite sure how it works, but balancing the throttle with the back brake just enables you to ride slowly and maintain that control.
Isn't it something? I was told it's something to do with the gyro effect of the engine or the flywheel or something.
It probably is. So
that keeps it more stable.
Yeah, keep the flywheel going and control the speed with the back brake.
Yeah.
But it doesn't allow you to manoeuvre at low speeds.
Yeah.
But using that back brake, it's an absolute skill.
Yeah, I used to spend hours riding around car parks just to practice sort of slower speed work on the Guzzi and the BMW K75, just to kind of get used to handling at lower speed, because I love filtering.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it quite so easily on your bike because it's quite
wide,
it's quite heavy and but
yeah.
I just love being able to nip through traffic, which
going back to
annoys people.
The test process that you went through, because I passed my test in 1981, and it was way different, and very, very basic,
like just like round the block and then
basically in a few things. And a few years ago, I'd been motorcycling for a long time, but I felt my skills probably had become a little bit outdated. So I did the advanced rider motorcyclist course, and I found that really useful about maintaining, looking ahead on the road.
So this is after the Star Rider thing.
Oh, I did the Star Rider when I was 16.
Oh, right, okay.
So it was years later, actually, when I had the Ducati, that I thought,
I think I'd like to do that at some point.
I need to brush up on my motorcycling skills,
roadcraft,
and roadcraft. I did the advanced rider course, and
you can get complacent,
yeah, absolutely. And it was brilliant. The pressure's not to speed, but to ride at an appropriate speed on the road. And if you can ride at 60 miles an hour at the national speed limit, then you're doing that, but safely, and reading the road,
and to make yourself visible,
how to position the
road
motorcycle,
position, definitely,
and how to enter and exit.
Makes such a difference.
Very, very useful. It's riding consistently with pace.
Talking about being visible on the road, I put that French yellow bulb in recently. I found that people actually take a lot more they
probably will.
There's a slightly different colour on the road.
It's not that common. I see a yellow light, probably think, what's that?
It makes such a difference. I really noticed a difference. It's weird.
It's interesting.
Yeah, you don't blend into the background quite so much. But
well, I think that's probably taken us through our various motorcycles and a good introduction to what we're about. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and we look forward to bringing you some more chat next time.
See you next time.